When you're playing in the MCCAA East, in junior college basketball, the Division II level, almost every single night there's going to be a grind, a battle for first place. We're going to have the same thing tonight. It's no different. The Henry Ford Hawks come to Wayne State University to take on your Macomb Monarchs. Sitting alongside Matt Merrifield, Tom Cavanaugh. Matt, we have a great one on hand. I mean, almost every single night you and I call the games for this Monarch team. We're getting a blockbuster. This Henry Ford team, they're dangerous. Receiving votes, they're a fringe top 25 team, and they have beaten top 25 teams. But most recently, those Monarchs with a big win over the number 15 Schoolcraft Ocelots, their 5th top 25 win of the year. Should be a good one.
Yeah, we've done 3 games so far together for the men's side. All 3 have been decided by 10 points or less.
Wow.
Macomb has been successful in all 3 of those games, including that blockbuster on Wednesday against Schoolcraft, 52-50, the final score. That was a style of game we talked with Coach Burns a little bit after the game on Wednesday, and that style of game favors his squad. Even though, obviously, you want to fill up the bucket, this team is competitive enough, they're tough enough, they're good enough defensively where if you get into a rock fight, they're going to come out swinging, and they came out successful on Wednesday. If it's a similar style game again today, I think that really favors them. Schoolcraft was a kind of more of a mirror-style team to Macomb, whereas Henry Ford is more spread, run and gun. They want to fill up. They want to be in a high-scoring shootout-type game. If Macomb can pull them back, keep this one into a defensive-esque game, Macomb's got a really good shot of putting themselves in the driver's seat in the MCCAA East.
Both teams are 6-2 in conference play. They are tied alongside OCC. The Owls will be taking on the the SC4 Skippers today. We'll get you an update on that game throughout, and kind of how things shake out here today is going to determine who's atop the MCCAA East. But, Matt, you mentioned that 52-50 score. Macomb was dreadful from the field. They were 17 of 59 for 28%. 3 of 16 for downtown for 18%, and they were only 13 of 19 from the free throw line for 68%. So law of averages, water finds its level. We're expecting a better offensive output today because you're facing the 6th best offense in terms of points per game in the Henry Ford Hawks.
Yeah, they're coming in. This is a team that loves to fill up the bucket. 6th in scoring in the conference at 87 points per game. But in conference play specifically, they are really scoring above 90 points per game. They've scored 100 or more 6 different times this year. They're averaging 10 or more threes a game in conference play. They're filling it up. They've also, something to note, we only have a couple home games left for Macomb. Under Coach Burns here, now in year number 3, Macomb 25-2 on their home floor. Henry Ford this year is 4-0 on the road in conference play. They've done a good job. They're 2-2 at home in conference play, but they've been unbeaten so far when going on the road. It's going to be a tough test. I have a really good crowd here on hand as well. Should be a fun matchup between these two teams.
As our PA man Chris Snyder breaks down the opening lineups on the floor, Matt, you do the same up here in the booth.
Well, we're going to start on the Henry Ford Hawks side of things, led by their head coach, Chris Shepard, his 9th season running the helm of this Henry Ford team. In the backcourt, Jace Branson from East Lansing, a 6'4 guard freshman. He leads the team in scoring and rebounding, even at 6'4. Makai Chester, a 6'3 freshman from Washington, D.C., joined by sophomore guard Chuck Riley from Macomb, Michigan. In the front court, it's sophomore Fred Sanders and number 15, Deontay Pfeiffer from Lansing, standing 6'6". On the Macomb side of things, they're running another similar lineup, led by their head man, Chris Burns, in year number 3. Donald Wilburn, the leading scorer on Wednesday with 12 points. He's joined by Tabari Howard and Keithan Gilmore and Karan Williams as the guards. And then the big man in the middle, standing 6'9", the tallest guy on the floor today, Joey Angok, the freshman from Grand Rapids.
It was Donald Wilburn and Jalen Jackson to lead the way for Macomb with a dozen points apiece in the 2-point W over Schoolcraft. And we are started here at the Mathai Center in Detroit, Michigan. Henry Ford wins the tip, controlled by J.L. Branson alongside Deontay Pfeiffer. Mentioned how good this Henry Ford team has been on the road this year. They're going to get the first crack at it wearing their blue road jerseys. Henry Ford in numbers and block on the front. Same block, white numbers on the back. Good defense from Wilburn to poke it away. Diving on the floor is Howard. We saw the defensive prowess for this Macomb team show up on Wednesday against Scraft. They show it early on here.
Yeah, one of the best teams in the conference on the defensive end. They don't make it easy on you. They got to get out to a quick start. That's what they've been able to do against these ranked opponents. They're going to need another quick start again today.
Inside to Gilmore. He spins, puts up a jumper, and there's a foul called. No basket. Keithan's going to go to the line for the opening possession of Macomb's night.
And Keithan Gilmore had 12 points, 5 rebounds at Henry Ford back on January 14th, a game that Macomb was able to take the better of Henry Ford. 79-73 victory. That was Macomb's first conference win, now up to 6-2.
Misses on that first free throw to Gilmore. He's a 64% shooter at the line this year. Just 2 points in 31 minutes for Keithan on 1 of 7 shooting back on Wednesday. But, I mean, he didn't have the best shooting numbers, but nobody really did at all as he connects on the second. 1-0. Macomb has the early lead by a penny.
Yeah, and last 2 games, he's only had 2 points in both of them. Prior to that, the 4 games prior, he was really filling it up. 13.5 points a game in those 4 games prior, so trying to get back to that rhythm he had developed.
Just a minute in. Good defense from Howard. Blanketing all over. Look to be Mackay Chester. Branson trying to drive middle on Wilburn. Donald was sensational on the offensive and defensive glass with 5 boards on Wednesday. Floater in the lane. Can't buy a bucket. Howard gets it out. Here comes Donald Wilburn. Hesitation left side. Hangs, shoots, no good. Angok the board, and he puts it in.
And I think Joey Angok on the interior is going to have to be a big piece of the offense today for Macomb. Didn't see a lot of that on Wednesday. Knocked down a couple triples. Want to see him use that size down low, try and dominate the post.
Branson checked up by Howard. They pick him up 2 or 3 feet outside the arc, and it's stolen by Gilmore. He'll advance it up to Williams. A fumbled pass will have to reset for Angok. In the middle, the floater gets the shooter's touch. A quick forward for Angok, and it's 5-rip Macomb.
12 points per game for Angok, now playing in his 11th game for Macomb since joining the squad after Christmas. And love to see him attack here early, getting to his spot.
Him and Rogers both kind of share the same sort of path this season. Guys that have only been playing in the second half of the season after Christmas break, as you had mentioned, and really stars for their team. Because Rogers, he had a really nice game the other day against Wayne County in their big win.
Yeah, Riley coming in, he did a really nice job. He had that double-double, 12 points, 11 rebounds. It's just interesting to see how guys can come in, step right in, and fill different voids. Henry Ford and Macomb both having good years, and now have their ceiling now gets raised because they have those midseason additions.
It's with Pfeiffer. He and Riley. Great defense from Wilburn again. There's 5 to shoot. They got to get something off quick. Look at the bench from Macomb. That's a shot clock violation. Coach Burns is revved up. Time after time, Matt, we see them expire the 30-second shot clock. My goodness.
Yeah, we saw that 3 or 4 times on Wednesday. It's just a common occurrence with how aggressive this defense is. They make you uncomfortable. You lose track of time. You got to be in control. The ball handler, the guy running the offense, Jace Branson and company, is going to have to do a good job of keeping the team organized on the floor.
Howard directing traffic on the near side. He's going to signal Gilmore to get in the post. A lot of energy early on for this Macomb squad, trying to pick up another key victory and improve to 7-2 in conference play atop the standings. Deep 3 from Williams as time expires on the shot clock. Too strong. It comes out opposite end. Branson nearly loses it. Still a scoreless Hawks team. The fadeaway 3 off the mark for Mackay Chester. Angok in transition, induces a body, and gets the foul call.
Another nice job by Angok to attack, but the last 2 possessions, 1 for each team, did not love the previous set from Macomb. Just took a little too long to get into rhythm, and then the next thing you know, Cron Williams has to force up a shot. Not how you want your first look of the day for Williams to even look. Want him to get comfortable with his rhythm. At the other end, Henry Ford just rushed that shot. That is not the shot you want to take 10 seconds into the shot clock, so both teams trying to establish their presence. Macomb likes to slow things down. Henry Ford likes to play fast, so you can definitely see the pin and pull of both teams trying to establish their tempo.
Angok empty on the first free throw. So 3 minutes and 14 seconds into this ball game, Macomb's doubling up the shot attempts, the field goal attempts, I should say, 4-2. Macomb 50% on 2 of 4. They are 0 of 1 from three-point range, and Angok comes up empty on both free throws. Now 1 of 4 from the line, but another offensive board keeps it with MCC.
And great aggressiveness by Donald Wilburn. He has been tremendous on the glass. He had 12 points, and he hasn't really been on Wednesday, but he hasn't been shooting the ball very well as of late. But he talked about after the game when we met with him about how he's just trying to stay aggressive, contribute in different ways. Attacking the glass is a really good way of doing that.
Wilburn, the 3 as the shot clock expires, off the mark. Another offensive rebound. Angok will pull from the corner and hit.
Those are the possessions that are going to cost you the game if you're Chris Shepard and Henry Ford. Didn't come up with the rebound off the free throws, and then again you don't come out with it, and it wasn't even Angok that came up with the offensive board on either time. The guards have to rebound well, especially against a physical team like Macomb.
They're daggers when you get 2 or 3 possessions in one trip and a three-pointer is hit against you. Corner 3, Riley, he misses. Nice offensive rebound with a shove from Chester, and we got a foul.
Howard just got a little over-aggressive, getting caught jumping in the air. Great patience by Chester to finally break the seal for Henry Ford here at the under 16 mark. But overall, good start to the defense for Macomb, forcing 3 turnovers. You mentioned the field goal difference. That's because Macomb's forcing turnovers here early. Yeah. Monarchs still haven't turned the ball over. That was something they had a little bit of an issue with on Wednesday. Good to see them taking care of the basketball.
Macomb just allowed their first 2 points. Nearly over 4 minutes gone in this ball game. We're going to step aside briefly and come back. It's an 8-2 advantage for the Macomb Monarchs here at Wayne State. Tom Cavanaugh, Matt Merrifield, live from the Math Ice Center in Detroit, Michigan, on the campus of Wayne State University for a first-place matchup between your Macomb Monarchs and the Henry Ford Hawks, and a nice start for head coach Christopher Burns' squad. They're currently 13-10 on the year, have played arguably the toughest schedule in the conference when it comes to the non-con opponents, and they've handled business so far in Eastern play at 6-2, but so have the Hawks as the three-point play is completed from Makai Chester. He's got all 3 points, and here comes Wade Robinson for the first time. Robinson, the freshman out of West Bloomfield, attended my alma mater, Notre Dame Prep, and his father, Whitney Robinson, my 2-year varsity head coach. There's an immediate whistle.
Yeah, aggressive defense. Looks like that's going to go against Deontay Pfeiffer. Actually, it's going to go against Chester, excuse me. But good aggressive defense, even as Macomb's coming across the timeline. They like to take it slow, force them to take as long as possible to get set in their offense.
Going to get it into Jackson, guarded by Robinson. Jalen going to the rim, kick out 3 for Williams, way too strong. And a foul on Irving as he was trying to jockey for the rebound alongside Jace J.L. Branson.
And you mentioned the non-conference schedule. Talk about the murderer's row that Macomb started the season with. At number 4, Vincennes, a D1 JUCO squad, a 2-point loss. And then they had 3 straight ranked opponents that they went 2-1 against to finish out the month as well.
Wilburn poked that away. They tried to up it right back to him. Deflection keeps it with Macomb. But a nice turnover as Irving will take it out of play. By the way, Robinson just coming into the game. He's their best shooter from three-point range. 42 makes on the season on 42% from downtown. He was 5 of 5 on Wednesday against Wayne County. As Williams gets some English. How about that up and under on the reverse from 22?
Yeah, there are times this year where Williams kind of resorts and camps out beyond the arc. He had 8 attempts on Wednesday, 6 of which were from deep. Like to see him attack and show off that athleticism at the rim.
Trying to body inside as Rasheed Sampson, he just checked in. We're going the other way after the missed shot attempt inside. Continuing to make Henry Ford uncomfortable, just 1 for 5 from the field here early.
4 turnovers.
5 minutes gone by. It's a 10-3 lead for the Monarchs here at home. Jackson, a lot of energy as he drives baseline, swings it out. Wilburn thought about the mid-range. Instead, it's Irving. Henry Ford wants a walk on his part. Irving, pump fakes, got to put it up with 5 to shoot. He moves inside, the muscle-up layup, no good. Here's Gilmore to finish.
What a possession there by Macomb. It looked like between the last 2 possessions at either end that Macomb's playing 6-on-5 in terms of player being open, the great ball movement and rotation, whereas Henry Ford's struggling. At the other end, even when Henry Ford makes that extra pass, there's always a Monarch right there.
I'll credit the toughness as well. That was a hard-nosed possession from the boys as that three-pointer off the mark. Now 0 of 3 from downtown of the Hawks. Rebound for Wilburn.
And also felt that Macomb was really doing a good job of sucking in the Henry Ford defenders, and yet Macomb was still able to come out with that offensive rebound for the easy putback as well from Gilmore.
Monarchs are 1 of 4 from downtown. They are 5 of 6 from the field otherwise. And we got a travel on Donald Wilburn.
I was just waiting for that whistle. That was a lot of steps there from Wilburn. Trying to be creative. Unfortunately, just lost track as we see Angok coming back in to bring some more size to the Macomb lineup.
And Tabari Howard, only man in a little bit of foul trouble. He's got 2, Irving with 1. On the other side for Henry Ford, it's Branson, Chester, and Pfeiffer, all with 1 apiece. There's the drive in, blocked by Angok, but we got a whistle beforehand. I think that's going to be a foul on a push from Williams. Karan picks up his debut foul. There's some role players on the bench that we saw early on in that game against Schoolcraft in Justin Gloucester, Brighton Barangi Butu, Simon Stockwell, Dante Wimberly. Have not seen their presence yet on the floor, but it's coming, and that just shows the depth of this Macomb team as Branson comes up empty on the first.
Yeah, and you mentioned Justin Gloucester. I really liked what he's brought to this Macomb lineup, now playing. Well, if he plays today, it'll be 6 straight games. He's played in 5 straight, and he's been that quick presence. Doesn't play a ton of minutes, but he was effective. 3 minutes, 2 points, and good on the defensive end. Offensive
board for Sampson. Another missed 3. Comes out to Robinson. His three-pointer off the mark to the left. And an 0 for 5 start from downtown for Henry Ford. Irving kicks out. Three-pointer Angok. Not the best pass near his knees, and it might have affected the result of the shot. Driving in with the left hand and a finish. Beautiful bucket that time from Makai Chester, a man averaging 10.5 points per game.
Yeah, we're seeing Chester. He's the one that's really standing out to me on this Henry Ford side early. Of the 9 field goal attempts, he's taken 5 of which he's the only one to make a shot so far for Henry Ford. He's the one trying to put the offense on his back and really take over. Need to see somebody else kind of step up and try and provide a spark. Branson is the leading scorer at over 20 points per game. He hasn't even taken a shot yet.
Yeah. Branson with 29, 11, and 4 in that 83-64 win over Wayne County. Robinson, he had 19, as we mentioned, the perfect 5 of 5 from three-point range, along with 3 steals and 3 dimes. Chuck Riley with 12, 11, and 3.
And Chester now up to 6 points with the made field goal. He had 4 in the entire game on Wednesday. 4 points, 3 boards, 4 assists.
Hawks have 6. Chester has 6. Macomb doubling up. A team that really wants to get a revenge win. Irving stares down Coach Shepard and that Hawks bench to go up by 9. Simon Stockwell just checked in alongside Tabari Howard as well. He's going to have to affect this shot. Little floater off the glass, too strong from Branson. It's been a dreadful start offensively for Henry Ford at 2 of 10. Inside Howard, gives it to Stockwell. He muscles one up, no good. Offensive rebound, and that hook shot drops.
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of Stockwell last game. Only 3 minutes played, didn't record a single stat, but good to see him be aggressive here early. Another one of those bench pieces that doesn't play a ton, but does just enough when he's on the floor, and has been a big reason why Macomb's been so good here as of late.
And that defensive possession, big by Stockwell to help force the turnover. His bench and head coach love it. But I think you get him in here early due to the size. Couple of offensive rebounds from Henry Ford in the opening couple ticks, and that's why you get him in there. How about Donald Wilburn? Count the basket and one. Macomb can't be stopped right now.
Yeah, the interior defense of Henry Ford leaves a lot to be desired. They are 6-2, tied for first place in the conference. They give up the most offensive rebounds in the conference, 14 per game. They just don't do a great job on the glass. Even in their win against Wayne County, they gave up 11 offensive rebounds despite winning by 20. That's a real weak spot. There isn't a ton of size down low, especially when Coffey's on the floor, or not when Fred Sanders is on the floor. So Macomb's trying to take advantage, and Macomb's a team that likes to attack the basket.
There's no lack of size as well. You got Saunders at 6'7". Wilburn hits the free throw. Pfeiffer 6'6". Jonathan Coffey, who we haven't seen yet, is 6'7", and then you got Branson at 6'4". Their size, they just are not having that frame of mind to put a butt on a body.
It is a little telling, though, when your leading rebounder at 7 a game is a 6'4" guard, especially for the size that you did mention.
Step through from Chester, unable to hit that time. Ball's loose, comes out to Wilburn. We're under 12 to play, and it's a dominant 20-6 lead for MCC. Irving calling for it. He'll get it. Guarded by Branson, looking to make a move. Irving nearly gave it up. Now it's Jackson. Spinning inside on the block. Robinson, good defense. Seven to shoot. Irving will pull a top of the key three and is fouled. Let's see if Malachi can right his wrong from last week. He was 0 for 3 late in the game at the line, but we're going to get a timeout before Irving takes the free throw.
That was a bad foul to take. That was a deep three late in the shot clock. Just get your hand in the air, what you had, but just over contesting on a shot. And he did already knock down a three earlier today, but he hasn't been shooting the basketball as well here as of late. 2 for 15 in conference play from beyond the arc. For Macomb, it looked out, and this is the start Coach Burns dreamed of, because Henry Ford looks like the two teams we saw on Wednesday between Macomb and Schoolcraft. Meanwhile, the Monarchs' offense is in rhythm. 14-point game simply because Macomb's playing better at both ends of the floor.
And I feel like when I'm calling these games with you, Matt, and Macomb has that early large advantage, I catch myself feeling, saying the same darn thing. 2 of 11 from the field, 0 of 5 from downtown for Henry Ford. A big reason for that is the quality of shots that we're seeing from Henry Ford right now. They haven't had many good looks. I think Robinson had the most open three-point shot at the top of the key. That's amongst all baskets that they have gone for. Chester, who is 2 and 1s for his total of 6 points, made both free throws. That's it. So even the buckets that were made were contested with a whistle.
They just don't give you anything. Macomb makes everything difficult, and we've seen a lot of this Eastern Conference, not everybody as of yet, but by far, when it comes to effort on the defensive end, nobody comes to what Macomb does on every single possession. The consistent level of attacking, playing, using their length to the advantage, and that's why Macomb's so good. Then the defense turns into offense, and then some nights like Wednesday, nothing turns into offense, or the defense turns into nothing, but it's fine because the defense is there. Defense will win you games because there are going to be days, even when the offense is creating the looks you want, the ball's just not going to go in the hoop sometimes, and the defense travels, and defense has been a big key for Macomb this year.
Irving hits the first. Early update from Rochester. Oakland Community College tied for first place at 6-2. They are trailing by a deuce to SC4 currently with 13 minutes to go in the opening half. That could pose big as Robinson checks out. Deontay Pfeiffer in. But if Macomb finds a way to get this done, they could be all alone with an OCC loss. Irving gets his own board and finishes with the right on the left side. Another second chance basket.
Yeah, this is just a Henry Ford team that looks deflated, didn't get off to the start that they wanted, and there really isn't much effort to try and pull themselves off the mat right now, and Macomb's just reaping the benefits from it.
Chester had a full head of steam headed down the right side there. Irving did a nice job of stepping in as that pass went to be whipped to the corner, intended for Pfeiffer. Stockwell got a hand on it. It'll stay with Shamarion Hardy to take it out in the Hawks. Hardy dribble drive. Instead, he'll kick it out. Chester hoists a long three. Rattles out. They can't buy one from range. They've got 2 made baskets and 2 free throws for a total of 6 points, 24-6. Irving leading the way with 7 alongside Angok. There's Howard with the step through. How about that scoop and score from number 3 in white?
Yeah, they kind of just let Wilburn go to work on that possession. Really wasn't much of a set. Nobody else on the floor trying to create a look. Wilburn doing it himself. Good little scoop and score.
Wing 3, no good. Rebound from Wilburn. That was a 3 taken by Pfeiffer. Irving, full head of steam. Tried to drop it off to Stockwell. Simon looking like Kareem with that right-hand hook.
Yeah, this has been a dream start for Macomb. Continuing to just knock down shots. 11 for 18 from the field. And Henry Ford just a nightmare start.
The energy from the bench contagious onto the floor. This place is on fire with Monarchs currently. Missed 3-pointer. Stockwell stays in with the board. And Simon's getting a lot of run here. I mentioned early having that size pulling down the boards. At 6'7", he plays more like Angok's size at 6'9" with his ability to get the board.
He's doing a great job. He's definitely, his size is proving to be an issue for Henry Ford. And just more importantly, he's playing with the energy. He's getting the opportunity. He's taking advantage of it. And Coach Burns leaving him out there for the right reason.
Wilburn, no go on the short jumper. Trying to advance to Chester now. Jackson to contend and a foul call. No and 1 this time for Mackay Chester. Still, Matt, the only guy to score for a Henry Ford team with 6 points and 9:22 remaining.
And of their 14 field goal attempts as a team, he's got 7 of them. He's right now, it feels like he is trying to do it by himself. Some of the looks have been okay, some of them haven't been. He had a couple shots that were 80% down and have spilled out. I mean, I give him a lot of credit. He's battling, he's trying to force his team back into the game, but it's a 5-man game. There's 5 guys on the floor.
Right.
Everybody's got to be bought in, and it's just not there. And that free throw just continues. That's just how this half has gone so far for Henry Ford.
Big substitutions here for Macomb as Gilmore, Angok, and Williams all come in. But there's another way to look at it, I think, as well. I mean, me and you Spartan fans, we watched that loss to the Michigan Wolverines. Nobody could hit a shot for Tom Izzo's squad. So Jeremy Fears decided to take it upon himself, yet he did make baskets to kind of lead the offense and take a majority of the shots to finish with 30 points in that game. So you're right. Some of those looks that he's had have not been the greatest, but with nobody else being able to buy a basket, he's kind of got to do it himself at the moment.
True, and I mean, going back to that game, not that I want to really remember what happened on Friday night, but
yeah, sorry to bring that up.
When Michigan State was able to force a comeback, it's because everybody else around him, especially at the start of the second half, started attacking the basket.
Yeah.
They started being aggressive that they needed to play with from the jump. Henry Ford needs that similar aggressiveness.
Turnover. Shamarion Hardy gives it off to Branson and an easy two-hand jam. A very uncommon turnover. Just the second for Macomb.
But the big thing for Macomb now, without they've gotten a 20-point lead, is they have to stay aggressive. They can't rest on their laurels.
Three-pointer rattles out for Irving. He might get a second try at it. Instead, drives it in. Nice offensive board from Angok to give it back. Joey. Lot of room. Knock it down, big fella. 31-9. Second triple for Angok. He's got 10. Remembrance of the first few minutes of Rocky IV. I mean, this is just, come on. Three-pointer from Hardy. Dunk attempt from Branson, no good. You don't get my reference with Henry Ford's Apollo in this situation.
I'm just trying to remember which one is which, to be completely honest.
Clubber Lang's 3, and then 4 is if he dies, he dies.
Got it.
You're no fun, man. 31-9 with 7:45 to go.
That movie is 20 years older than I am.
I've
seen the Rockies.
True.
Just don't expect me to remember.
Tip of the cap
to
my parents for educating me at an early age. 16 fouls for Macomb, by the way. So Henry Ford will be in the bonus next, and that seems to be the only way that they're really going to be able to score here right now.
8 rebounds for Henry Ford today. 7 offensive rebounds for Macomb on the glass. 14 second chance points for Macomb on 7 offensive. I mean, that's been a big reason for this game too, is just taking advantage of when they've gotten those second chance points. They are capitalizing. I mean, a dream start for Macomb. They're continuing to pile it on. They just have to keep the foot on the pedal for all 40 minutes. They kind of did that. I know they were resting some players against Jackson last Saturday, but they got up to that big, they were almost 40 points at halftime. Jackson worked their way back into that game. You know Henry Ford's going to battle back. It's going to come at some point, and shots are going to eventually fall, you would think. You have to assume so based on the law of averages. Just keep the foot on the pedal. Make sure you take control because you can't cough this one, especially with the start you've had. At home, you got to make sure you come out with the win here today. Put yourself in the driver's seat because, obviously, like we talked about with the women's side, 4 of your last 5 are on the road. Got to make sure you take care of business. Obviously, that one big one coming up next Saturday or a week and a half against Oakland CC. That's going to be a big one as well.
And it's kind of control your own destiny time if you're able to handle business. I mean, even including this game, because very winnable game is against the Mont Bears. The SC4 Skippers coming up. It's always a good battle against the OCC, who's a top 25 team. And then Wayne County, a team you lost to, but you are better than on paper. And then you finish up with Jackson. So if you're able to really run the table, this team's got every chance to be able to win the Eastern Conference for the 3rd straight year, something that Henry Ford hasn't done since 2022.
And this is an opportunity, too. This is the year that the East Division gets to host the championship game for the MCCAA. So an opportunity to host a conference championship. They've been very successful the last couple of years, so just an opportunity to play on your home floor. Obviously something you'd like to be able to do with how successful they've been the last couple of years, going 11-3 last year and then 13-1 in year 1 under Coach Burns.
Dante Wimberly into the game, just had that poked away by Hardy. 20-point game after the 2-point bucket from Deontay Pfeiffer. Williams, his 3, bottom.
Such a quick release from Karan Williams. He catches and gets it off. Not a lot of time to close out. If you are slacking, he's going to release it, and he's going to knock it down more than he's not.
5 points, 2 of 4 shooting for Karan, the redshirt sophomore, and double dribble on Deontay Pfeiffer. That's turnover number 6 on the Hawks. 6:53 to go in our first half. Justin Gloster mentioned he checked in as well alongside Wimberly. Those 2 freshman role players playing down the stretch here in the opening half in a big game. Wimberly to the rim, blocked by Hardy. He'll get the rebound. Shamarian, great last season at 14.5 points per game. He's having just about the same output this year at 13 points per game in the 25-26 season. Right hand, muscle up and good for Mackay Chester. He has a team-high 7 on 2 of 7 shooting. Branson and Pfeiffer, the only 2 scorers with 2 apiece. Wimberly swings it out. Angok pump fakes the 3. He'll step in, take a midi, and rattle it home.
And I thought there should have been a whistle on that play. It looked like the right sleeve of Angok got pulled.
Yeah.
It's still great focus for him to step into the shot, knock it down regardless. Nice jumper by Joey Angok.
It's a mature play from him as well, to give up that 3, drive it in, and take the midi. There's a foul going to be called on Angok, so kind of ironic after his jersey was tugged. Chuck Riley will go to the line for 2 as he is wincing in a little bit of pain.
And if you're a D1, D2 coach looking at Joey Angok, you see the 6'9" frame, his ability to score at all 3 levels. Get him in the weight room and put some meat on those bones. He is going to be a dangerous player, whatever level it's lucky enough to have him. And he's been tremendous so far since joining the Macomb lineup. Obviously, not having Lawan Holloway has been difficult, who's averaging 13 and 4.5 a game. Yeah. But Angok has pretty much stepped right into his place and been tremendous. He was the Conference Player of the Week last week and has continued to play well.
I couldn't imagine what this team looked like in those first couple of games when Lawan was healthy and Joey was just starting out, getting his feet wet in a Macomb jersey. Boy, that was probably a dominant duo down low, along with all the rest of the talent on this squad.
And I unfortunately haven't seen Holloway this year. I didn't get to watch him play at all, so didn't get the opportunity to see what it might look like to have both of these guys.
Right.
Macomb's they've been dang good in the games that we've gotten to call together. And obviously, the record doesn't reflect how good they are. We both know that, and anybody that's been following this team knows that. But still, to think that there's technically a higher ceiling that's been restricted just because of Holloway's injury.
36-14, a dominant start with 5:51 remaining in the opening half between your Macomb Monarchs and the Henry Ford Hawks. We'll be back in a moment. This is your home for Monarch basketball. Out of the break after the split free throws at the line from Chuck Riley. It'll be Wimberley and Macomb's ball. Matt Merrifield, Tom Cavanaugh here from the Math Ice Center on the campus of Wayne State University, the interim home for your Monarchs this season as they're having their entire athletics complex renovated down in Warren. Irving, a little heavy on the jumper. Rebound squirts out into the hands of Pfeiffer. That's one of the rare times Macomb hasn't had an offensive rebound on a missed shot. Hardy, short side. Irving grabs it.
Yeah, Macomb's missed 11 field goals today. They have 7 offensive rebounds. So more than not, they are coming in, picking up the loose ball.
Irving trying to back down his man. Here's the kick out, long three. Williams hits it. He's got 8. Matt, we were talking. I went to go fill up my water bottle between games. I saw Karan. He gave me knuckles and said, I got some points for you today, Tom. And he does so far in this first half. Off the mark there. Right-hand jam from the 6'1 Hardy. He got up for that one. 39-16 as we're just approaching 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, and Hardy's been playing well. He had 12 points, 5 assists against Macomb the first time around, but he had 5 turnovers. That was costly and such a close game.
Wilburn underneath, and we got a foul call. That's going to be on Riley, who leaped right over top of him.
And it's good to see when we look at the scoring column here early that Angok leading the way with 12, and then you have Karan Williams right behind him with 8 to lead Macomb here today. And those are 2 guys that, Angok knocked down a couple big-time triples when he needed to, but it was the Jalen Jackson Donald Wilburn show on Wednesday. And there's nothing wrong with that, but we haven't seen that too many times this year. In a game like this, seeing the 2 stars of the show, the 2 guys, the 2 leading scorers from Macomb, take over and get off to such good starts.
And that's what makes this team so talented is when those stars, those consistent scorers take that back seat, you have other guys thrust into the bigger roles and have great games, just as Wilburn and Jackson did. Gilmore, he's looking to back face on Pfeiffer. Nice slip down to Wilburn, and there's a foul on the shot. Going to be on Branson, his 3rd. Dangerous territory for J.L. Branson.
And not the best start today for anybody on Henry Ford, but for Branson, 1 for 4 from the field. He's missed both of his free throws, just 2 points. He does have 5 rebounds, which is half of what Henry Ford has as a squad, but now picking up his 3rd foul. They actually changed it. Chuck Riley was given the foul.
Robinson as well. He's their 2nd leading scorer. And we talked about the 3-point percentage, how talented he's been this season. He's only played 5 minutes today. And he had 19 points against Wayne back on Wednesday. Expect to see a little bit heavier diet of him in the second half just to see if he can spark plug this offense.
The problem is that the size of this Macomb team, so much length, it's tough for him. Who is he going to guard, especially with how effective Macomb is in? But then again, he's such a good scorer. It hasn't mattered.
Yeah,
I mean, Macomb's got 41.
Sacrifice one for the other. I mean, it's really tough. Aaron Allen is into the game for the first time as well, as that's a missed runner from Riley. Under 4 to go. It's a 41-16 game. Definitely not what was on my bingo card to open up tonight's contest. Wilburn, 3 rolls around every piece of the rim, no good. Riley rebound. Hardy advances. Shamarian with that left hand. 3, too heavy. Rebound Howard. That is now 0 for 11 from downtown for Henry Ford. Gilmore strong to the lane. We got a whistle pointing up towards the basket.
Yeah, interesting to see that the trailing official was the one to call that foul when we had one underneath the basket. A great look at it. I mean, favorable call, obviously, from Macomb. Now they're going to get to shoot some free throws, but good to see that Macomb has continued to keep the foot on the pedal here to close out the half. Still 3:22, but good consistency, and the defense hasn't wavered at all. I mean, Henry Ford 0 for 11 from deep.
Take a second to check back in around the MCCAA East. And, Matt, check this out. SC4, a team that is very talented, but they are 12-10 and 3-4 in conference. Right, sitting in the middle. They're leading by 8 right now on OCC, the team that is tied for first place at 6-2 with these 2 teams.
And we saw a tough battle with SC4 a couple weeks ago, our first game together, and that is a tough team that's going to grind it out, tough rebounding team where OCC, similar to Henry Ford, likes to spread it out. It's got to be a high-scoring game for them to be successful. And for SC4, they're sitting at 3-4 in conference play. When it comes to the regional tournament next month, we kind of know who the top 4 teams are going to be in this East Conference. It's Oakland, Henry Ford, Macomb, and Schoolcraft. there's a battle between SC4 and Wayne County are both right there with 3 wins. Even Mott's still in the mix. Jackson's the only one that, at this point, their season's probably going to be done after their final regular season game.
Yeah.
But an opportunity, there's not going to be many opportunities. As we know how tough this conference is, SC4 is going to battle every single night. And with that type of toughness, that can make it, that's going to make it things difficult for an OCC team.
If that Skipper team is able to handle business on the road against OCC and Macomb can continue to play how they're playing right now, the Monarchs would stand all alone at 7-2 in conference play at the top, and it's quite ironic. Obviously, we talked about the Murderers Row that was their non-conference schedule, leading to a 13-10 record. But of the 4 teams, and let's just say Macomb does come out and is the leader in the clubhouse, they'd be the only team that's either not ranked or receiving votes in the top 25. Keithan Gilmore. It's the first free throw with 3:22 remaining in the opening half. Malachi Irving will check in.
And Gilmore showing some growth here in the conference play. The freshman averaging 7.5 points a game, but in conference play, he's gotten that number up to 9.3 a night, doing a good job on the boards, grabbing 5 a night, continuing to be a consistent piece, starting now 18 of 21 games this year.
Talk about that freshman output. A lot of turnover from last year's team. The entire starting 5 from a year ago went Division I or Division II. Jotham Nowicki, Jalen Jenkins, and several others. Demarion Fishburne, Josh Hines. Here's Allen. Hardy guarded by Irving. He's going to hoist one up with a hand in his face, and we got an and one for Hardy. Foul on Irving. That's his second.
Nice job there by Hardy to knock down another shot, who's been tremendous this season, continuing to be consistent after averaging 14.5 last year, like you mentioned. Missed last game, unfortunately, but Henry Ford still had no issue with that and putting up 83 points as a unit.
Also got to give a lot of credit to Marlon Williams. He was another one of those top 5 starters, top 5 scorers that went on to play Division II at University of Illinois Springfield. Hardy makes the free throw. It's 43-19, under 2 to go. Jackson looking to find that post up on Irving. Instead, it's swung around to the near side. Robinson back into the game, guarding Jackson. Jalen hoists a triple. It's down. Coach Burns wants a timeout. And Jalen Jackson, who had a couple of big threes on Wednesday, knocks down an even bigger one right there to extend the lead.
Yeah, Macomb now with 6 made threes here in the first half. And they come in, they don't shoot a lot of threes. As coming in today, they have attempted the second fewest threes in the conference. They only average 17 attempts per game. They make about a third of those, so about 6 makes in a given game. They've already made 6 here in the first half. So you combine that with the fact that Henry Ford team that does rely on that 3-point attempt, over 11. I mean, that's the difference right there in the game.
Major.
And more, to be honest. As Macomb leads by more than 18, but
even if they were just 3 or 4 of 11, I mean, they would be right back in this game and only down about a handful.
And even just the confidence that would provide for the offense for Henry Ford. That nothing has gone right for them today, and it just snowballed, and nobody's been able to pick them off the mat. So
Chester leads the way when it comes to missed threes. He's 0 of 4 from downtown. Both Hardy and Robinson are 0 for 2, but Chester with the team-high 9 points on 3 of 8 total. He's also got 3 free throws. Hardy kind of assuming the role of Mackay Chester. There's Robinson looking to create, goes to the rim, scoops it up, and a block from Irving. We got a foul on the other end after the miss. I think this might send Chester to the line as he grabbed the offensive rebound. That was a good take from Robinson on the mix-up, going to the cup, but Irving elevated on it.
Yeah, in the last couple of minutes, Macomb hasn't had any offensive rebounds. They're still stuck at 7. Fortunately for the Monarchs, shots are falling right now. There haven't been many opportunities for offensive boards. Henry Ford's doing a better job. They're now up to 6 offensive rebounds themselves. Just haven't been able to capitalize as often.
3 more shot attempts from Macomb, but 9 more made. Second free throw, no good. Squirts out into the hands of Gilmore, who's checked up by Branson full court. 2:10 to go. Gilmore nearly coughs it up. He's got to find a man. Gets it to Williams. Scramble mode from Macomb, and it's taken away. Advanced up to Branson between two defenders, and Gilmore is going to find his second foul. That was just the fourth turnover from the Monarchs here today. But you see this Henry Ford team, even though they're struggling offensively, they're trying to create with the defense to help them out and surge this team to a better spot.
Yeah, Macomb's protecting the basketball, and that's been another reason for their success so far today. Is did an okay job with the turnovers on Wednesday. The ball wouldn't go in. That was pretty much the biggest reason for the lack of offense from Macomb, but still just not coughing up, not giving up free possessions to Henry Ford, because when you're down like this, Henry Ford's going to be looking for as many easy baskets as they can find. Getting out in transition off turnovers is a great way.
Still a 25-point lead with 2 minutes to play. And against as good of a team as this Henry Ford squad is, no lead is safe. I mean, you might feel comfortable leading by 24. You still got to keep the foot on the gas. Irving guarded by Allen. He's looking to make a move. Irving's had a good first half. Williams, an even better first 20 minutes of action. Give him his third three-pointer and 11 points. Pfeiffer, left side, kick out to Allen, who's going to drive middle on Jackson, and that is a good finish.
Yeah, great response today by Cron Williams. Only 3 points on 1 of 8 shooting on Wednesday. Coming back out, and he's been on fire now, 3 of 5. After missing his first 2, he's knocked down 3 threes in a row.
He manifested it, and he said, I got some points for you. Here's Jackson, way deep from 3. Trying to fly in for the offensive board was Irving. Instead, it's Branson to pull it down. We got a $1:12 to go in the opening half. Chester, kick out. Pfeiffer drives. Nice D from Karan. All over Chester, who's trying to weave. 14 on the shot clock. It's poked away. It's going to stay with the Hawks. Coach Burns and company can't believe it.
Great defensive possession by Karan Williams so far. Great footwork to keep up with Chester in front of him, then coming in on the help. He thought he got the poke, and he thought it went last off of Henry Ford. The official didn't see it that way, but overall great energy and continue to make things tough.
Robinson checking in for Allen. Number 30 in blue. First team All-State at Notre Dame Prep his senior year. Redshirted a year ago with the Hawks. Mid-range jumper for Hardy as he gives a look down towards that Macomb bench. Shamarion was a problem for them last year in both meetings, and he's posing so once again here with 7 points on 3 of 6. We got a travel on Williams with 36 seconds, so a chance for this Henry Ford team to close the gap late.
Yeah, and Hardy's been that spark that's been good to see here from Henry Ford down the stretch, that second option after Chester got off to a good start and was really the only guy able to create anything. But now Chester's gone quiet, and it's been nothing otherwise other than Hardy.
Chester still leads the way with 10. On the Macomb side, it's Angok with 12. Williams has 11. Irving with 7. About 5.5 seconds separating game and shot clock. 10 to shoot. On the wing with it is Branson. Pfeiffer looking to drive on Angok. He will. No whistle, and gets the basket off the high glass. 7 seconds. Wilburn to advance. They lead by 21. And we got a foul. Going to the line will be Donald Wilburn, and Coach Shepard not happy considering Macomb's going to have a chance to get to the 50 mark before the half with the clock stopped.
Well, for Henry Ford in that last offensive possession, it was a good work by Pfeiffer to take advantage of that mismatch from Angok. They got him switched onto him, and then just too quick for the big man. And Joey Angok did a good job keeping up, just was a step behind. Good finish.
Wilburn misses on the front end. Hardy hoists it and nearly breaks a fluorescent light here at the Mathis Center. Well, that would have delayed us quite some time, but thankfully it held together. This place has been around for a while, so no surprise. But great half of basketball for the Macomb Monarchs. Would have loved to get to 50 or above, and they kind of allowed Henry Ford back into this one. I know they still lead by 21, but still feel a little uneasy because Henry Ford was so dreadful shooting the ball in the first half. They're going to be much better in the last 20.
Yeah, the thing that has to happen to start the second half for Macomb is continue to come out and attack to start. Those first 4 minutes of the second half are going to be important because if Henry Ford can cut into that deficit, even if it's 4 or 5 points, that's going to make a huge difference for their confidence and their just overall morale going into the rest of the game. So if Macomb can come out and say, no, not today. Today is going to be our game. It's going to be our game all the way through for the full 40. Then Macomb's got a really good shot of winning and winning big. This is a similar score. Obviously, they were up, 40 on Jackson last Saturday. This one has to feel even more impressive. It's only a 21-point lead, but to hold Henry Ford to just 28, and more importantly, you're already at the 50 mark, doing a great job. Both ends of the floor, everybody's been involved. 2 different guys in double figures, and Williams and Angok leading the way. Everybody hitting the glass. Tremendous half from Macomb.
We'll take a quick look at the personal fouls, see some foul trouble going into this second half. For Henry Ford, really nobody. Chuck Riley's got 2. J.L. Branson's got 2. And then you look at the Macomb side. They fouled a ton in that first half just because of how well Henry Ford got to the rim and just couldn't finish. 2 fouls for Tabari Howard, 2 fouls for Keithan Gilmore. Angok's got a pair, and so does Irving. Those guys, if they pick up a third very early in this second half, that's a little bit of shortened personnel early for Henry Ford to make a push. So defending without fouling going to be at a premium.
Yeah, they have, on the good side for Macomb, though, they have had good depth so far, and we've seen those players step up already. Wimberly got a couple minutes of run. Gloucester, Stockwell, and those guys all can provide extra minutes. Yep. Should there be some foul trouble, Stockwell was tremendous in his 2 minutes of play, 4 points, 2 rebounds. So, yes, foul trouble could be an issue, but I think Macomb's got the guys ready to go in the stable should that opportunity come up. But overall, keep doing what you're doing if you're the Monarchs, and things will look pretty good at the end of the 40.
Macomb's 20 minutes away from being the top team in the MCCAA East. Whether it'll be with OCC or without them, time will tell. Second half of action coming to you in about 10 minutes. Matt Merrifield, Tom Cavanaugh from Wayne State University. It's 49-28 at the break. You're watching Macomb Men's Hoops. Welcome back into the Math Ice Center at Wayne State University alongside my good friend and partner, Matt Merrifield. Tom Cavanaugh on tap for what's been so far a butt-whooping at 49-28, 20 minutes down. Macomb, they've shot the ball extremely well. Henry Ford hasn't, but, Matt, you left us with something about law of averages, kind of water find its level at halftime. Feel like Henry Ford's going to rise to the challenge. It's all about how Macomb keeps their foot on the gas in this final 20 minutes to try to get to first place and hopefully stand alone there in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, that has to be the message, or had to be the message, if you're Coach Burns in the locker room coming out here for the second half, is keep playing at that same intensity. I expect them to, because that's what they've done all along, all season long, at least from what we've seen here on the home floor, where they've been really good. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, 25-2 in home games under Coach Burns in 2.5 seasons. And to continue to play as hard as they can. I know I mentioned law of averages. I thought law of averages was going to come into effect on Wednesday, and it didn't. Yeah. And we finished with a 52-50 game. So you never know. But Henry Ford can come back into this game if Macomb lets them. If Macomb continues to dominate and play with that same aggression here for the next 20 minutes, Monarchs have nothing to worry about, and they're going to be looking pretty at the top of the conference at the end of the day.
And I think one way that even if, you don't shoot 54%, maybe you shoot half of that from the field in this second half if you're Macomb. If you continue to offensive rebound the way you did, and I know they went on a spell there at the end of the half where they really didn't get much going on the offensive glass, but if you stay consistent there, get Angok, Wilburn, Gilmore involved down there, and get those second chance buckets, you're going to be fine. Macomb will get it to start the second half. Tabari Howard probing on that far side in front of his own bench. Angok with a great first half of 12 points. He's going to fade away, a little Dirk Nowitzki style, misses the jumper. Henry Ford with pace coming the other way. Nice job by Angok, Williams, and Wilburn all to get back on D. That's stymied the press up in transition. Chester's looking for a screen. Now it's Pfeiffer. Pulling just inside the three-point line. That's a miss from Chester. Ball's loose, and it's going to stay with Henry Ford off of Williams.
Yeah, and two guys I'm going to look at to be a big part of the offense if Henry Ford were to come back in this game. Jace Branson, of course, only 4 points, one made field goal in the first half. He did have 7 rebounds, but he averages almost 21 points per game. He's got to get going. He's been really good this year. His last 4 games, he's averaging 28.5 points. But tonight just hasn't been his day to this point.
He's looking to take a shot this time. Too strong on the jumper, just his 5th field goal attempt on the afternoon. Howard driving. And Karan Williams with 3 first-half triples gives it up to Wilburn. It's good defense here from Henry Ford to open up the second half.
And I expect Macomb on the offensive end maybe to play a little bit slower, but they're a team that already likes to settle down into the half-court offense as is. Like if it was Henry Ford, on the other hand, trying to bleed out the clock, they might have more issues.
Ron, no good on that 3, and we got a foul on Gilmore, going to be his 3rd, fighting alongside Pfeiffer for the board. And we've seen several games this year where Gilmore will grab 3 early fouls or be deep into foul trouble throughout a contest. Minute and a half gone by. Gilmore going to stay on the floor with those 3. A lot of game left. Nobody's put a bucket in yet in this second half as Chester nearly lost it out of bounds. Pfeiffer swing out. Riley's 3, too short. Angok in transition against 2 defenders. How about that? Are you kidding me?
That was pretty.
2 defenders, no whistle, and he splits them and finishes with English. Wow. 14 points for Joey, the freshman out of Forest Hills Northern. Branson dishes it down to Chester, and he gets the easy bucket underneath. Still a 21-point game. That's a good feed from Branson. Man, you mentioned the high point total, but just has not been able to get open to take those shots. Everything's been tough for him. Star has been on his back in preparation for this game for head coach Burns and his staff. Just about 2.5 gone by as Wilburn looking to gain ahead of steam to the rim. Pump fake, and he's blocked. Pfeiffer takes it away. Wilburn is fouled after he gets it back, trying to go up once more.
Great patience by Wilburn. Even better defense by Pfeiffer to not completely bite, still come out with the block. Obviously, second time around, he ends up taking the foul, but still great effort by both players. And Wilburn, he played at Henry Ford last year. He averaged 5.5 points per game. Obviously, coming to Macomb now, averaging 10.5. He played really well against Henry Ford the first time around. He had 17 points, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 3 steals back on January 14th.
Donald hits the first free throw. That was the second foul on Pfeiffer. Deep breath, Wilburn flushes the second. 53-30. Give you another score update over there in Rochester between OCC and SC4 in just a moment. Riley the dish off to Chester. A lot of off-ball movement for this Henry Ford team, but the defensive rotation has been stellar. Wilburn nearly took it away, and Pfeiffer finds the opening for 2. Angok trying to find something. Gilmore, nice seal, pump fake, and can't buy the and one. Keithan is going to the line for 2, but really should have been a 3-point play.
Yeah, great move. He's really going to want that one back as a bucket to potentially have the 3-point play, but still great effort to create that look. And it's really been a slow start to the half here for both sides. Obviously, that's what Macomb wants. They want to bleed this game out. And so far, most important on the defensive end, they're making it tough on Henry Ford, who still had to battle for the 2 buckets they have been able to earn.
Gilmore, after sauntering really over to the free throw line, is able to knock down the first. It's where you clear your head and make a couple of big shots. But, picking up your 3rd foul, missing a potential and one can weigh on you mentally, but these are the times where you have to fight through the adversity and knock down both free throws. Good job, Keithan. Up 23 with 16:28 to go. Pfeiffer trying to probe with that screen alongside Branson. Chester has been quiet since the opening minutes. Nice move. Tries to dish it inside. Ball's in the air and comes out to Jackson. That was number 13, Fred Saunders, inside there. Had it taken away. Saunders, a sophomore, transfer from Dodge City Community College. You want to guess what state Dodge City Community College is in, Matt? I know you did your prep.
I'm going to go out. It's in the. I feel like I've heard it's in the Plains, isn't it? Like Kansas?
Yeah. Oh, come on. Yes, sir. Nearly turned over Pfeiffer. Almost turned over Jackson on the skip pass. Yeah.
There's a lot of really good basketball, both JUCO football and JUCO basketball out in Kansas. It's a lot of good basketball out there. It's great. The Sunflower Conference, if I'm not mistaken, is what it's called.
I love working alongside a ball knower, man. It's great stuff. 55-32 with 15:45 to go in our ball game.
Iowa's the other state I'm thinking of that does some pretty good JUCO athletics.
By the way, we promised you guys that MCCAA East update. Matt, check this out. SC4 is, I won't say running away with it right now, but they're putting a butt whooping on Oakland Community College, 59-45. It's a 14-point lead with just over 16 minutes to play. It's looking more and more like the winner of tonight's contest here at the Mathai Center is going to stand alone at first place if SC4 can, cross their T's and dot their I's, finish this out.
Yeah, 100%. And good on Macomb, obviously, very much in the driver's seat to come out and take care of business. The conference is in their hands. At this point, there's still plenty of basketball left to be played where they can come out and take care of business, and getting these wins early, coming down the stretch. They still have that game against OCC, but otherwise you feel like all the other games are winnable games they definitely should go out and win. None of the not necessarily as much a coin toss like today or the OCC game coming up is going to be, or even last Wednesday against Schoolcraft. So good on them to come out, take care of business, but it's going to be tough because everybody around them still now going to be chasing them, so they they're no easy nights because everybody's still battling for something. So
Without
you
a
got to
doubt.
come out 100%.
And I circle that Wayne County game as well, considering Macomb was upset by them just a couple of weeks ago. Gilmore with the runner, and it was blocked halfway up. Could have been a goaltending call. Scrambling on the floor for it was Wilburn. It's going to go down with Henry Ford.
I do have to correct myself really quick. It's not the Sunflower Conference. It's the Jayhawk.
The Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference.
KJCCC.
Defense on Saunders. Angok tried to take it away. Fred with the miss. Good hand straight up from Joey Angok. Gilmore's got to get it out with 2 defenders on him.
About to say that, how well he was able to wall up and steal that side of the defense.
Wilburn, he'll work alone at the top. Trying to find the kick to Keithan. Pivoting on that left foot. 2 defenders on him. Gilmore looking to post up. We got 15 minutes to go. Williams with 5 to shoot. Into the paint, the floater, off the mark. Rebound for Branson. JL hasn't had much to go on. He'll kick it out to Saunders in the corner. Another missed 3-pointer. And we got a whistle on Branson. That is going to be foul number 3 on him. He's picked up 2 quickly in this second half.
Yeah, and that's just going to make the uphill battle even more difficult for Henry Ford because now they're not going to have their best player on the floor. They might keep him in with 3 fouls at this point because it's desperation mode for them to come back into this game. But
it's going to be Shamarian Hardy, who I thought may have come in for J.L. Branson, but you got to keep your top scorers out there, and he's going to check in for Fred Saunders.
And still the clock is ticking. We're now 25 minutes into this game. Still 0 made threes for Henry Ford, 0 for 13. At some point, one's got to go in.
Right.
You have to imagine.
For as talented as this group is, and the offensive output that they produce on a daily basis, gamely basis, I should say, it's appalling at this time. Irving looking to drive, and he's going to be fouled by Branson. And how about that, Matt? 4 fouls on Branson, 2 coming in the last 10 seconds. Now he's got to come
now
out.
He's got to head to the bench, which is really killer for Coach Shepard, And something that I noticed when getting ready for this game was obviously they shoot the ball well, 34%. When they win, they shoot 37 from deep, 37%. When they lose, it drops to 27.
Wow.
They live and die. When the ball is not going in, they have a tough time winning games. And obviously, that's pretty obvious. Ball's not going in, but Macomb's the type of team where they're tough enough and they play good enough defense where the ball doesn't have to be going in. They can still will themselves to wins. Not necessarily the case for this Henry Ford squad.
Aaron Allen misses through contact, and how about Wilburn bringing the house down? One-hand jam for the former Henry Ford Hawk. That's got to feel so good.
And then forcing the turnover on the other end as Henry Ford stepped on the sidelines for an immediate turnover as well. I mean, it's all going Macomb's way. A tremendous dunk, great athleticism to get up the hop and put it down with some emphasis. So just impressed with how Macomb has handled themselves today and every step of the game and how they've been able to do this now on multiple times. We saw it against OCC, come out, tough matchup, shut them down, makes the Owls uncomfortable, makes Schoolcraft uncomfortable on Wednesday, and now Henry Ford having the worst of it.
Wade Robinson is now checked in for Branson. Fadeaway jumper is nylon for Wilburn. He's feeling himself against his former team, Matt.
Yeah, he had a really good game against them the first time around, and you always know there's a little bit extra emphasis when you're playing your former squad, and it's nice to see him come out and dominate.
And we got a whistle before Hardy's 3. Going to be called on Howard, whose palms up, can't believe it. Oh, I'm sorry. He will get it to go. It's an and 1 headed to the line.
That's the second time today Hardy's been able to force the foul and still knock it down, even with the hand in his face. Now, that one clearly, we got a better angle of it and looked like a foul. The first time around, I think it was Wilburn who was the one who was charged for it. It might have been Gilmore. Either way, whoever it was didn't exactly agree with the call, but that one very clear, but still great concentration to knock it down and most importantly complete the 4-point play.
Hardy hits the free throw. The very first triple on the 14th attempt for Henry Ford. Knocked down by Shamarian Hardy. Here's some defensive pressure, and Irving turns it over on the interception. Try to get Robinson in the corner. It was a bad pass from Hardy. Shamarian back to Wade. Wade for 3, too strong. It's going to be out of play. Robinson 0 of 4 from the field now. Remember when Wade was maybe about 12, 13 years old. He'd shoot on the side rims while we're having practice. His father, Whitney, coaching us in Notre Dame prep for several years. And, I mean, he was knocking down shots at that age. So no surprise why he's the second leading scorer on the Henry Ford Hawks as a redshirt freshman. Wilburn trying to work on Robinson all the way to the rim, and he's got 13 points. A tick behind Angok with a game-high 14. Hardy looking for that screen. Instead, it's Pfeiffer way outside the arc. Guarded by Stockwell. Ball's on the floor. And Pfeiffer can't finish. Williams the rebound, and they're off and running. Wimberly trying the lob. Not the best lob to Stockwell, and it's turned over. Allen inside. He's going to get the kiss and finish. 62-38 with 12:25 to go.
Yeah, Coach Burns not going to be happy. Obviously, the lob can be a tough play. Got to execute. Don't want to give away those free turnovers, and especially when it turns into points at the other end. It's the situation where Gloucester and Stockwell haven't played a ton. Might not necessarily be a ton of chemistry there to connect on that play, but disappointing nonetheless.
Foul on Robinson. He's guarding all over Jackson. He doesn't agree with the call. But last couple of possessions, very quick getting down there on Macomb. You mentioned right out of the half, extend those possessions. Use a good portion of this shot clock to bleed, some of this clock and slow the game down to not allow Henry Ford to climb back in it. They've done a good job of that so far as Jackson hits the first free throw. Brighton Barangi Butu will get his first run of the game, checking in for Wilburn, who has been sensational in this second half.
Yeah, he's really earned the opportunity to go and sit and take a breather on the bench the last couple minutes. It's been all him on the offensive end. Tremendous to see, especially like we mentioned, he really didn't have the best shooting game. He still had 12 points, but he hasn't been shooting the basketball well as of late, but he still find a way to contribute.
Chester, another missed three-pointer. Jackson brings it up. And Macomb now 15 of 21 at the free throw line. A much better day at 71% from the charity stripe than what it was on Wednesday. They're doing a really nice job of scoring when the clock is stopped. Wow, Dante Wimberly, scoop and score from the left side with the right hand. Let's kick out to Allen Wade in the corner. Ten to shoot. That was coughed up out of bounds. Defense from Stockwell once again gives Macomb the ball right back. Timeout on the floor. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Matt.
Coach Shepard's just almost getting apathetic at this point. We've seen him multiple times. They get fired up over certain calls, and he really wanted a foul there, but almost just threw his hands up, and it's just one of those days for his squad as Macomb continues to press on and make things difficult. It was a 21-point game at halftime. Macomb's still been able to stretch it, doing a great job playing exactly the way they needed to start the second half, limiting possession for Henry Ford and still executing on offense of their own, getting to the basket, getting good looks, getting to the free throw line as well, being 7 of 8 from the stripe.
Outscoring Henry Ford 17-10 in this second half. Matt spoke on how water finds its level and kind of directing that towards how Henry Ford will shoot the ball in this second half compared to the opening 20 minutes, and that water is well below the Mendoza line at 14 of 42 for 33% from the field, 1 of 16 for 6% from 3. Now, Matt, one time, twice is a blip, 3 or more times is a trend. We spoke about it early in the game. When you see a team like Schoolcraft, top 15 in the nation, you see a team like Henry Ford receiving votes, fringe top 25, you could argue. And both of these teams are having such poor performances on the offensive end at the peak of their season, down the stretch. It speaks to the type of preparation that Burns gives them and the execution on the court.
And I'm excited to see what this team can do, not to get ahead of ourselves, but this team is going to be playing in the regionals next month. Now, who they're playing against, what that all seeding looks like, to disappointing turnover right there, but they're going to be playing some postseason basketball. Excited to see, there's going to be teams coming in that, this team is, they finished the year 17-11.
Right.
Oh, they're 17-11. Sure, they won at the top of the conference, but oh wait, this team's pretty good. This team is really tough to play against. Their defense just hounds you for 40 minutes. Plus, they got guys that can stretch it out and do it all. This is going to be a tough out team when it comes to the postseason. They have been the last couple of years, and their record may not reflect it, but you have to think that maybe this team's saving some of their best basketball and some of those wins against those top teams for the right time of the year.
Nice cut and take from Hardy to cut the deficit to 26. And you have a team like Henry Ford that, lives and dies by the three-pointer and their ability to score the basketball. But even on Macomb's worst days offensively, they still scrap and find ways to win with their defense, and that's going to win you games, along with a great rebounding team consistently. Berengi Butu driving in on Allen, trying to turn around, gives it to Stockwell, who finishes on the other end. Nice bucket.
Yeah, continuing to see a good effort from Simon Stockwell, who had those 4 points, 2 boards in the first half. Good to see him get some more run here in the second and continue to pick up where he left off.
Stockwell turns it over as he tried to move in transition. Hardy looking to dunk. Instead, he kisses it off for 2. Still at 26 points with 10 minutes to go. Macomb led by 21 at the break. And there's just been a few errant turnovers, unnecessary ones at that.
And those are going to happen, but 7 turnovers at this point in the game for what we've seen at times from Macomb. They are being responsible with the basketball. It's not taking away from any of their possessions.
No, they had 4 in the first half, which was great.
It doesn't feel like they're being plagued by it. It doesn't feel constant. So, turnovers happen over the course of a game.
The few that at least I've noticed is when they try to get out of control in transition. When they sit up in that half court, they cannot be stopped, and neither can Tabari Howard. These buckets at the cup from multiple guys have been marvelous today. We're talking Wilburn, Wimberly, Angok, and now Howard. Woohoo!
Yeah, and back to the turnover comment in terms of, if you'd prefer if there's a type of turnover, at least if the other team's forcing steals, then the other team's doing something right. You're not just handing them the basketball. That has been the case for the most part today. It doesn't feel like Macomb is just throwing the basketball away. There's no missed timing on the passes, people not being on the same page. That last turn by Stockwell, good effort on the defensive end by Henry Ford. Those are going to happen over the course of a 40-minute game.
Howard missed the free throw. There was a mad scramble for the ball. In the end, it comes out to Henry Ford, trailing 70-42. Definitely was not what either Matt or I imagined this game would be at this stage with 9.5 to go. And it's really just, a combination of great defensive prowess from the Monarchs and poor shooting, probably arguably the worst shooting performance of the year for this Henry Ford team. Hardy turns it over unnecessarily as he drove into the lane. We're at 9.5 to go. Wimberly. Not going to get a screen. He's going to try to drive middle. Gives it to Berengi Butu. Lays a shoulder, and that's an offensive foul.
Yeah, a little over-aggressive with the elbow. That was.
He made it a point to impose his will there. I mean, he just needed to go up with that one. Instead, he just completely lunged with the right shoulder and laid a body.
They tell you when you're practicing something to overemphasize whatever you're doing, so that way when you get time, when pressure comes, you just do it the right way automatically. That one, I want to know what it looks like when he's practicing that, if that's what it comes out as in a game.
Great dime from Wimberly to Berengi Butu, who rights his wrong. Underneath, the scoop and no score from Hardy. I need to pay Matt royalties if I use the phrase ladled as he's going to the line. Hey. Oh, he almost did it again. We got to notice it every time. Guys go to the free throw line and pulling up to the green line that is about 1.5 feet in front of the actual free throw line. Hardy hits the first. It's now cut to a 29-point lead. Macomb was just up by 30, their largest lead of the afternoon.
And, Macomb has been good in conference play, but, even their win over Jackson, they only ended up winning by 18 points. They have a chance for this to be one of their biggest wins of the year.
Yeah.
And this is a darn good Henry Ford team that's receiving votes, has been highly thought of. They got off to a great start in non-conference play. This is a team that scored over 100 in their first 3 games of the year, including 121 in their opener.
And they won 5 of their last 6. I mean, this team with an uncharacteristic loss to the Mott Bears showed that, they can be beaten, have bad days, but nothing like this, because even their losses, they score 72, 73, 67, 79. They scored 46 in a barn burner against Division I Vincennes. But other than that, I mean, they're putting out 60 to 70 points even in losses. I don't know if they get to that point.
My one concern for Henry Ford when they do get to postseason time is I can't imagine they're going to get to 80 points today. They're going to fall to 2-7 in games where they score under 80 points. They're 11-0 when they do. When they do score more than 80, but you're not going to score 80 every time in the postseason. There are going to be some teams that are going to make it like Macomb, and maybe even we haven't seen everybody in the MCCAA or even in the region, some of the teams coming up from Ohio. So how are they going to handle when that pressure comes, especially when you add on the fact it is postseason basketball. It's all on the line. Things get tight. Teams play tougher defense, even the teams that don't play as well of defense. So that's my concern for Henry Ford once it comes down to the nitty-gritty.
I'll tell you right now, Mid-Michigan likes to muck it up at times. That's a team been able to cover the last 2 years as Pfeiffer hits the ground hard. 8:20 remaining. To catch you up in the last few minutes, Irving missed a free throw down on the other end. Hardy missed another jumper. He is now 6 of 11 from the field for a total of 16 points to lead all scorers. Irving tried to come out with that. Instead, it's Hardy, left to right, trying to lob it up, and Chuck Riley throws it down with some power and a technical. He hung on the rim a little too long there, Matt. Now, I mean, you feel like those are warranted. I mean, yes, you hang on the rim, but this is also college basketball. These kids are going to get excited when they get an alley-oop.
I mean, just a disappointing break. Obviously, Coach Shepard not happy. I didn't feel it was aggressively long.
Like if you shake the rim and maybe pull and hang on it and scream something, sure. I've always lived by, obviously if you're directing something towards the other team in a rude or ill-mannered fashion, then that deserves to be a technical foul. But I didn't see any of that whatsoever. And, I mean, Henry Ford's probably shrugging their shoulders saying ball don't lie as Wimberly misses both free throws.
Yeah, 100%. Luckily, it's, an empty, ended up not mattering in terms of the score with Macomb not able to knock down either free throw. But, 8 minutes left. Macomb just continuing to do what they need to do. It's been a quiet half for Angok and Williams. Not that it's mattered for how good they played in the first half. And, Wilburn has stepped up tremendously here in the second half. He's got 8 points here in the last 12 minutes of action. Overall, just a great day.
They try to reply with a lob to Irving, and the tip out comes to Wilburn, who grabs points 14 and 15. He could be our player again, our player of the game again for the second straight ball game. Good Donald Wilburn. It'll be Matt Merrifield and whoever our star player is if Macomb is able to finish this out. Hardy to the corner. Allen, dribble drive. Riley, who just threw down a dunk, will go inside again. And up and around to finish off the glass. That's a really tough bucket right there to get to go. Allen looking to apply some pressure as Macomb would love to bleed the clock and use every bit of 30 seconds. Karan Williams, no good from 3, and a foul on Pfeiffer as Wilburn had both hands on another offensive rebound. Looks like we'll get a break in the action. 74-47, Macomb up big, trying to improve to 7-2 in conference play and win their 3rd straight, which would be their 7th in the last 8 games. This is your home for Macomb men's basketball. Back for the final 7 minutes and 9 seconds of action. Matt Merrifield, Tom Cavanaugh from the Math Eye Center inside Wayne State University's campus. It's a onslaught of epic proportions for this Monarch team, leading 76-47. Donald Wilburn knocks down both free throws. He's got 17 points. Wade Robinson back in alongside Hardy, Riley, Allen, and that's Rashid Sampson. No good on the shot. We're under 7 to play. Tabari Howard with 4 points and 7 rebounds to lead the way in that category. Lifts it up and good on the scoop and score with the left hand.
I love getting to watch Tabari Howard. We see him often. He does a great job distributing. He doesn't have any assists, a great rebounder with 7. But seeing him go to work on the offensive end, he doesn't score all the time. He's 3 for 3, so when he does take his opportunities, he can put it in. He's just doing other things, trying to distribute, get everybody else involved.
Hawks another miss on the other end. Irving's 3, little heavy. Rebound comes out to Sampson. Wide open 3 for Riley in the corner, and he rings that down and good. And another technical foul on the Hawks. This time it was Riley who probably had said something. So who's going to shoot him? Is it going to be Karan? But yeah, I mean, you saw the 3-point make by Chuck, and then he kind of looked back at his defender. I'm no John Boy, as we mentioned previous games. Can't read the lips, but.
I mean, I understand it in a game like this where it's getting out of hand. Frustration boils over. You want to keep it under control.
By the way, as Karan hits the first, Deontay Pfeiffer reached 5 fouls a moment ago, so he is out for the game. Branson still on the bench with 4. And Williams hits both.
Yeah, nice job by Williams, who has had a quiet half. Haven't played a ton of minutes so far in the second. And the offense of Wilburn has really taken over and still doing a nice job coming up, stepping up, knocking a couple free throws down. One of the best in the conference, currently 3rd at 83%
really
in the MCCAA. Technically, Joy Angok is shooting better at 86%, but he hasn't quite reached the minimum free throws needed. And he's getting close, quite honestly, even though he just started playing at the beginning of January.
The next whistle, there's some drama in Rochester. Wade Robinson called for the foul on Howard, who's going to go to the line as Henry Ford's very far into the double bonus right now with 10-plus fouls. You see Hardy and Wilburn chopping it up, former teammates together last year. But remember we said that SC4 had a 14-point lead on OCC and Macomb would have a chance at being the lone wolf at the top of the conference? Yeah. Well, with 3:30 left to go, we're tied at 74 apiece over there in Rochester. So, I mean, it's going to go down to the wire over there, unlike what we have with under 6 to play and Macomb leading by 30.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, that game on February 18th when Oakland and Macomb take on each other, it's going to be a glorified conference title or regular season title game, but at least for the East. And it should be a lot of fun. The first time around was a great game, what we had 2 weeks ago, and Macomb was able to edge out Oakland. It's just going to be another tough battle.
And it's big that they won the first matchup, too. That gives you the upper hand when it comes to tiebreakers and such. So a foul on the other end has Rashid Sampson going to the line and somehow gets that to sit on the back iron and fall. Henry Ford will wrap up the season with OCC, Jackson, number 15 Schoolcraft, SC4, and Mott. On the Macomb side, Matt's already previewed a few of those matchups, but they'll have Mott, SC4, and OCC all on the road before coming back home for senior night on the 21st against Wayne County, and then wrapping up the season on the road against Jackson. Inside, Howard is going to be fouled. Looks like that's going to be on Hardy. That's his 4th. So a lot of foul trouble happening in this second half for the Hawks.
I do have to say, though, Tommy, I have to hold you accountable for what you said during the first game today. as you said, that this game would not look
yeah,
like.
I knew this was coming.
It would not look like this. And here we are with a 30-point game with 5 minutes to play.
Everybody loves a good tease, just trying to pull the viewers in, be like, hey, we're going to have a two-possession game throughout an entire 40 minutes.
On behalf of the listeners that feel like they were led astray, run amok, and straight up bamboozled, I apologize on behalf of Tom Cavanaugh.
82-52 with 5.5 to play. But, I mean, everything, in all seriousness.
It wasn't supposed to look like this, truly.
Right. Everything led us to believe it was going to be a game that was decided by 5 or 6 points throughout the contest, which we've seen many a time for this Monarch team against talented opponents.
It has been nice to see going into the game on Wednesday in the previous 3 games for Macomb. Their opponents were shooting 44% from deep. They had shut down Schoolcraft to 3 of 16 on Wednesday. Henry Ford's at 2 of 18 today, so the 3-point defense has definitely been improved here as of late, and it's good to see that trending in the right direction.
Has to have been a point of emphasis in practice for Coach Burns. Karan Williams will check out, likely his final seconds on the floor today. And Daniel Sotero Martinez alongside Justin Gloucester and Simon Stockwell have checked in with Wilburn and Howard. Allen is fouled to the rim, and Gloucester is going to pick up his second. We'll make sure we keep you updated in those final minutes between OCC and SC4. All tied up at 74. Allen hits the first. And if you're Henry Ford, I mean, you already guaranteed Macomb being a team that's in there for the district regional, Great Lakes district tournament. Same thing with this Henry Ford squad. And, if they play their best basketball, they shoot the lights out, this is a team that can win their district. And there's a chance these two teams meet again. There's a chance they don't. It all depends on how it shakes out in those 3 different regionals that we'll see in March. Wilburn tried to dish down to Stockwell. And this is a out-of-bounds whistle. Going to go with Henry Ford as, both teams just trying to finish strong here. But the decision likely in the favor of Macomb. By the way, Jonathan Coffey just checked in, the former Monarch.
And you don't want to get ahead of yourself, but if you look back at non-conference play and you look around the MCCAA, Mid-Michigan 8-0 out in the west or in the north side in the Northern Division. Macomb was able to get the best of them, 93-80 back in non-conference play.
Wimberley, floater, nylon.
The leader in the Western Division is Grand Rapids, who Henry Ford was able to beat by 15, put 103 on at the very beginning of the season. So these are teams that is the East the best division, and is Macomb that good? I'm very interested to watch that regional and even the MCCA championship that's coming up at the end of the month as well. Robinson
can't hit the corner 3 on the other end for Henry Ford. Howard to the lane, misses on the up and under. It'll stay with Macomb. But I'll tell you from experience, Matt, last couple of years, both on the women's and the men's side, it's the best of the best across all 3 conferences in the MCCAA. So, I mean, it's really going to be impressive to watch some of these teams. And I think this year it's a lot of parity as Wimberley misses the long range too.
And I'm very excited for it. It's the men's and the women's tournament happening at the same time. And as you were describing it to me the other day, of just it's the best teams in each conference. There's every division. There's gonna be a couple teams that aren't having the best year, but these are all teams that have earned their right to be there. There's 3 separate tournaments all happening at once. Basketball going on all day. I can't wait for what should be an exciting weekend.
Got to show you the hospitality room over there at the Ballinger Fieldhouse as well. They take care of you over there. And Wimberley tried to feed to Stockwell on an alley-oop between 2 defenders. That's not going to work. And Chester gets a roll, and that's a guy in Mackay Chester who, had a really good start to this game, despite Henry Ford not, and he had been silent since. Stockwell missed the dunk, and Macomb will take their time with 3:10 to go. 84-56. It's been a dominant performance since the jump. Stockwell underneath, can't get it, own rebound. Wimberley pump fakes the 3, step back, hoist and hit. The cherry on top of a dominant win to go up by 31. Nearly another turnover it is. Wimberley rolls up on the basketball. And we're just seeing both teams go back and forth right now. Giving it up, hitting big shots.
I'd say after knocking down a shot like that, if you're Wimberley, you can really laugh it off when you're up 31 and you just knock down a nice three ball. But what a day it's been for Macomb. 8 for 20 from deep, holding their opponent to 2 for 21, not coughing the basketball up. I mean, Henry Ford's done a good job of limiting the turnovers if they had a little bit of a bug to start the game, but simple as that for Henry Ford. They haven't made shots.
That's really all it's been. You can credit Macomb's defense for sure, but 2 of 21 from three-point range. I'd like to go back and look at their game-by-game percentages and see if this is, bar none, their worst at 9.5% from downtown. Not bad at the free throw line at 14 of 20 for 70%. Macomb, a little worse from the free throw line, 21 of 34 for 61%, but they made up for it, hitting 8 three-pointers on 20 attempts, and they're 29 of 56 from the field, 51% shooting today.
I mean, tremendous, and that's all you can really say about this team. Let's see. They went 6 for 31, Henry Ford did, last Saturday in their loss to Mott. Now, really the reason they lost that game, even though they didn't shoot the basketball well, is they went 10 for 20 from the free throw line. They shot 50% in the game. You lose by 5. Obviously, Mott, a strong team, but when you're at the top of the conference, and when you have that big of a glaring issue, and then plus you shot 6 for 31 from deep, that one that really stings in the loss column, especially with how close you still were to winning that game.
They're going to give it up to Coffey, who tips it in. The sophomore attended King High School out of Detroit, was a Monarch last season and is transferred over to the Hawks, so kind of a one-for-one trade with Donald Wilburn, each guy flipping schools.
Yes, this has been Henry Ford's worst three-point shooting game at 9.5%. The only other game they shot below 20 was against Vincennes, where they only put up a season-low 47 points in that loss.
But that was a scrappy game as it was. They only lost by 12 in that one. Vincennes only scored 58. Hardy, all backboard, nothing else on that three. Wimberley, left-hand lay, 91-58. I don't think Macomb's going to get to 100, but they're knocking on the doorstep as Wade Robinson brings it up the floor. Nice time from Wade. Coffey can't finish.
I'd say they won't get to 100, but still 91 is their best mark they put up in conference play this year.
It's incredible. Wimberley, can he hit the three? Little strong, tipped out of play off a Gloucester Hawk ball. So with 45 seconds to play in the game out in Rochester, OCC leading SC4 88-82. The Skippers had a 14-point lead midway through the second half and are now trailing by 2 possessions with under a minute.
And that's going to be a disappointing loss for SC4, but not, from what we saw from OCC, not surprising with some of the elite talent they have at scoring the basketball. They're a team, similar to Henry Ford, but I would definitely have to put OCC ahead of them in terms of a team, even though they're down by double digits, they are never out of a game.
Irving misses on the wraparound. Stockwell is completely packed. Hardy has it in transition as we're under 50 seconds. Robinson trying to hit a three, and he does. Good hit from Wade in the corner. His first triple of the day. Timeout, Coach Burns. And with 40 seconds, Barangi Butu will get in.
Yeah, it's been a rough go of it as of late for Wade Robinson. He did have his best performance of conference play on Wednesday, putting him 19 in their win over Wayne County, but only one time in his last 6. The previous 5 games, he was held to under 10 points. Didn't have a very good game against Macomb the first time around.
He talked about law of averages. When you go 5 of 5 from three-point land on Wednesday, it's tough for you to be able to replicate that. He's only 1 of 5 from downtown today. The shot clock likely to expire as Wimberley's holding the ball at center court. But I do want to give a big shout-out to the Robinson family, head coach Whitney Robinson, my former coach back in 2017, 2018. And to think I'd be able to call Wade's games one day, never would have thought. Playing here at Henry Ford and thriving as the second leading scorer on the squad. Hardy's going to dribble it out. 10 seconds remain, but how about these Monarchs? In a game that had so much hype around it, was thought to be a game decided by 3, 4, 5 points and come down to the wire. Macomb said, we're going to spoil your 4-0 road win streak, and we're going to take you down by nearly 30 points, 91-63. Wow, Matt.
And what a standard now. That's now 26 wins at home, 26-2 at home under Coach Burns here in year number 3, and 75 wins for Coach Burns in his time here at Macomb.
That's incredible.
75-20, 31-6 in conference play, 25 wins a season to come into a program. And Macomb was solid. They had a really good year in 2023, his first year, the year before he came in, but then he's been able to continue that success, winning the conference back-to-back years, making to the Sweet 16 last year, the Elite 8 2 years ago last year, making the Elite 8. And although the record doesn't look like it, I think this team is primed again to go on another run and beat a very tough out when postseason basketball comes up in March.
And they just took one step closer to doing so. And with 28 seconds left, OCC leading by 7. Not going to say it's over there, but it's likely that Macomb and OCC are going to be the standalone 2 teams at the top at 7-2 in conference play. A usual suspect coming back up for our player of the game. Donald Wilburn did it on Wednesday with 12 points in a big win over number 15 Schoolcraft, and he's going to join Matt Merrifield right now after another stellar showing.
Yeah, it's going to be our player of the game for the second game in a row. It'll be Donald Wilburn, the sophomore out of Warren, Michigan, joining us in just a moment as Tommy steps aside and bring us into frame. Donald, long time no see. Welcome back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Another big-time win. The defense stepped up.
Yeah.
You know, another Henry Ford team comes in, like to shoot the basketball well. What made you guys so successful today and just your defense executing?
Our game plan. We prepped really good. Like, the past 3 days, we've been prepping for this game. We knew what they were going to run. We knew all their sets. Been practicing it. So we just came into the game ready. So.
He finished the game with 17 points. He had 17 points the last time you guys met Henry Ford at their place.
Yeah.
I know it was your school that you played for last year. Is that little bit of extra motivation for you playing against them? Kind of what's that like going against some guys you played with last year?
I mean, obviously, I came into this game like I come into every game. Like, I just really wanted to win. This game is no different from any game to me, honestly. I just want to win the league. That's the goal right now. No game is bigger than any other game, so that's all I care about.
You guys are now 8-1 in your last 9 games, finding your stride. You had a very tough non-conference schedule.
8-1?
You guys 8-1 your last 9.
Okay.
Now up to 7-2 in conference play. It looks like Oakland's going to win their game this afternoon, so you guys will still be tied with them. You got your date coming up with them in a week and a half, but you guys had a pretty tough non-conference schedule. What did you guys learn from that stretch of basketball where you may not have gotten a win every single night, but have taken it here in the conference play?
Non-conference, we were getting our butt kicked a little bit, man. We couldn't finish out games, but we've been working on a lot of like late game executions and practice and stuff, and we got to use it in the games in the past couple games. So that really helped us out. So maybe getting your butt kicked helps out sometimes. So,
well, I appreciate the time, Donald.
Yes, sir.
Congrats again on the win.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And good luck on Wednesday as you guys take on Mott CC.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man.
As that is our player of the game this afternoon, Donald Wilburn, the sophomore, finishing with a game-high 17 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals as well, as Macomb finishes out the 91-63 victory over Henry Ford. And we welcome back in Tom Cavanaugh. I mean, overall, just the consistency, the game plan, that's what Donald credited for their success on the defensive end. He was very happy, and obviously he knows that he's just focused on trying to win a conference title. Each game means a lot, even though, having a nice performance against his former squad. Yeah. And then, of course, I did ask him about, their non-conference stretch, and he talked about how, getting their butt kicked a little bit in non-conference play, kind of got them into shape, and is why they've been so successful here at Slate, now winning 8 of their last 9.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're Spartan fans. It's a big reason on why a guy like Tom Izzo goes and plays such a tough non-conference schedule with Duke, North Carolina, Gonzaga, Arkansas, Kentucky, whoever it may be. Because when you get into conference play and you play a lot of these opponents in adverse situations, you come out on top and you thrive. And you're used to those, situations of high-pressure games playing against really talented teams. And you can kind of equate it to what head coach Christopher Burns is doing here with this Monarch team. Not just this year. They do it almost every single year that he's been at the helm of this program. But you're seeing how when you play those type of games and you take on a team like Henry Ford that has been so good, they've won 5 of their last 6 games, you're just able to put them in a body bag because you've practiced it, the reps are there, and the experience is there as well. So I give a ton of credit to Coach Burns and his preparation to get his guys ready to be able to execute in a game like this. But more importantly, guys like Donald Wilburn. Joey Angok didn't play a ton in the second half, but boy was he great at 6 of 8 shooting for 14 points. And Caron Williams doing his thing. 3 triples, 13 points, and do not let Dante Wimberly's performance go unnoticed. 5 of 8 from the field, 11 points. He also had 2 steals and a pair of assists.
Yeah, another tremendous game all around from everybody up and down the line. We saw that in both the men's and the women's games as 2 commanding wins. Was not expecting 2 blowouts today when we showed up to the gym, but that's what we got. And I mean, for me, my biggest takeaway is now 4 of the last 5 is going to be on the road. Obviously, they want to close out and win a 3rd straight conference title. Bringing the energy. Obviously, we don't get to get a good look at them playing on the road. We're not there for those games, but just if they can bring that same energy they have had here in our 3 games that we've gotten to call together here at home, I like their chances to close things out. Obviously, they got that big matchup against OCC coming up, but it doesn't matter because Mott's going to be coming on Wednesday. Following next Saturday, SC4, similar spot. They're trying to make sure that they can play some postseason basketball. You know, it's going to be a tough stretch, even get down to that final game when then they finish out with Jackson.
Taking a final look at the standings in the MCCAA East when all is said and done. Macomb and OCC sitting at the top at 7-2 as the Owls got the win by 9 over SC4. So, Schoolcraft, they will likely move to 6-3 playing Mott today. Don't have a score update over there just yet. Oh, yeah, Schoolcraft's up by 30 late in the second half. So, Schoolcraft will be 6-3, a game behind both Macomb and OCC, and then SC4 dropping to 3-5. They're going to be behind the 8 ball there, and then you also have Wayne County, who is 3-5, and it's probably going to be between Wayne County and SC4 for that 5th and final spot. But Matt, the next time you and I will be on the call together will be hopefully when Macomb hosts here for that opening round of the Great Lakes District Tournament, because you did mention they get a chance to play. Go ahead.
Hopefully it's for an MCCA championship the weekend
You're
before.
Right.
Hopefully, because if Macomb does find a way to finish at the top of the East, they would host that championship tournament, a quick little between the top 3 division winners. So hopefully we're there for then, and then obviously up at Mott, up in Flint, calling some postseason basketball as well. But some big things coming up for Macomb here in the near future.
Absolutely. The next time you can hear us on the air will be February 21st against Wayne County on sophomore night, and we'll honor several of the mainstay players that have made this program so great over the years. That's going to do it for us here from the Mathis Center inside of Wayne State University. Want to give a huge thank you to our cameraman, #1 guy on this crew, Javante Prazik. In a 91-63 win, Donald Wilburn, your player of the game, with 17 points, 6 rebounds, and a pair of steals from Matt Merrifield. Tom Cavanaugh saying so long from Detroit. We will catch you in a couple of weeks on sophomore night between your Monarchs and Wayne County CC. Have a great rest of your night, everybody.